Is this a John boat? Some of you will say, yes, it's a John boat, and many of you will say, absolutely not. But who is right? And why is this even a question? Are they named after some guy named John? When does a John boat become a bass boat? Are all John boats made from aluminum? And if you're considering buying a John boat, I am taking an actual flat-bottom John boat out for a ride to explain why it might be the right choice for you. I will get into everything that I learned about John boats, and if it is acceptable to refer to a boat like this one as a John boat. The term John boat is most commonly used in North America. In other parts of the world, similar boats may go by different names. For example, in the United Kingdom, a similar style of boat might be referred to as a punt. That's punt with a P. And small aluminum or aluminium boats are called tinnies in Australia and New Zealand. So let's take a closer look at this particular boat right here. This boat is 12 feet long, which is 3.6 meters. It is made of aluminum, or aluminium to my UK friends. It's not made for sailing. It's relatively flat in the back, but it's pointy in the front. And that point is actually the point where many of us separate into the yes and no camps as to whether or not this is in fact a John boat. The term John boat is sometimes used more broadly to refer to any small and basic aluminum boat, regardless of its hull shape. But technically, this 12-foot boat is referred to as a utility boat by manufacturers, and that's been true for decades. This 1974 Sears catalog offered a boat very similar to the 12-foot boat I just showed you, and they called it a semi-V-hull boat. At the time, they offered these and John boats in similar sizes and configurations. At this point in time, I will admit that yes, I have referred both to my 12-foot and 14-foot utility boats as John boats in the past, and I probably will again in the future, because it's a term people will probably always use. John boats typically have a flat-bottomed hull, providing excellent stability in calm and shallow waters, making them ideal for fishing in ponds, lakes, and marshes. On the other hand, small utility boats, which often have a V-shaped hull, are well suited for cutting through waves and providing a smoother ride in rougher waters. The examples in this 50-year-old Sears catalog show that the smallest semi-V-hull boat has a deeper hull than the largest John boat that they offered at the time, meaning the semi-V-hull boat is a taller sided boat than a John boat. Is there a guy named John who invented it? Well, not quite. From what I could find with my research, the name actually only stems from the simplicity and practicality of the design. John boats are known for their straightforward, no-frills construction, making them an ideal choice for people on a tighter budget. When it comes to construction materials, John boats have been most commonly made of aluminum, but some are also made of plastic and even fiberglass. So while both John boats and small utility boats are compact and versatile watercraft made from the exact same materials, it's the subtle differences in design and purpose that cater to specific preferences and needs. Right here where I'm sitting in this creek, it's great. There's no wind right now and this thing's fine. But I get out there on the river and it's a different story. It's a little small and its sides are a little bit low for being out in our river. The other boat, my V-hulled boat, better out there. But this one, it's a little challenging. One of the great things about a little boat like this is the pure simplicity of it. It's just an aluminum tray, that's all it is. The only thing this has on it is some handles on the front and the back and some oar holders. That's it. But for the waters that I boat around here,
It's just a little bit small, and as I say, it's very very low-sided. I mean, my fingers touch the water when I'm sitting here. If I reach down with my arm, my fingers are in the creek, and you know, it's really not much more than a kayak. But I can fit a lot more stuff in it than I can in a kayak. And it's funny because this 2.5 horsepower Mercury seems like a heck of a lot of engine on this thing. I'm not even actually able to wind it all the way up. I think partly because I need to position the engine out from the transom just a little bit differently than I do with my V-hull, because it seems to cavitate as soon as it gets going. And what that means is that there ends up being sort of an air pocket behind the transom of the boat, so the propeller is not getting biting into the water really well, and the water pump might not even be sucking up water to be able to cool the engine. So it kind of gets a little bit of a swirl effect going back there, and so I have to keep letting off of it. I can't really wind it up too hard. Now this boat here would be fantastic for doing a little bit of fishing out here in the creek. I mean, it's just right here in the creek. But I get out there in the river and it's a bit of a handful. So one of these little 12-foot John boats, if you're fishing or going into creeks or ponds, this thing is great. I mean, it's real nice for that. You know, you're sitting right here, you're close to the water. It's easy, it's light. I mean, I can pick this thing up and carry it around. This boat isn't really well suited for my river and for a lot of what I do. If I did some more fishing, probably better suited, but I don't fish.
When and how does a John boat become a bass boat? As you've likely seen in videos by Tiny Boat Nation, customizing a John boat by adding features like a casting deck, storage compartments, and other bass fishing specific enhancements could certainly give it all the characteristics of a well-equipped bass boat. For example, let's compare the specifications on the Tracker website from their $6,000 17-foot John boat to their $17,000 Bass Tracker Classic XL. Looking at the specifications, it seems to indicate that these two hulls are actually slightly different in almost every way in dimension. But it would be an interesting exercise to take the $6,000 boat and outfit it with the same features and gear as their Classic XL to see how they compared in terms of cost and usability on the water. Now, while a quick trip to Facebook Marketplace shows us examples of small boats being sold as John boats or John boats, hopefully now you have a better idea of what exactly identifies a small boat as a John boat and not merely a utility boat or a skiff for that matter. But that's a topic for another time. Thank you so much for watching. And here's another video picked just for you.